Hi and welcome back to my channel. My name is Erica. We are on day number 9 of our 2023 So Jolly Quilty and Stitchy Sew Along. That's a lot to say, but what it means is we're having a lot of fun stitching and quilting throughout the month, getting ready for the holidays. So if you're new to my channel, for the last couple of years, we've done a Quilty and Stitchy sew along, quilt along for our ornaments for the holidays. And so this year is no different. The theme for this year is sewing. So Jolly is the title. You can get the patterns for everything that I'm going to be showing. These are in my store at store.confessionsofahomeschooler.com. We did have kits for both of these at one point. I don't know if they're sold out. I kind of feel like they might be sold out by now, but if you're looking for them, the Stitchy kits should be available in my store, and the Quilty kits would be available in catchingstitches.com if we have any left. I think they're probably all sold out by now, but you can definitely go and check. So this is day number 9. So we're taking a look at Quilty Ornament 8 and Stitchy Ornament number 9. So hopefully that's not confusing to anyone. So let's go ahead and start out with Stitchy, since that's what we've been doing already. So here is day number 9, ornament number 9 for our Stitchy. This one has a couple of jars and a little thread spool on the side there. The middle jar has what I'm calling yarn balls in it. They can be whatever you like. And then the little jar on the side, I think looks like it has little buttons in it. And then that little tiny spool of thread sitting on the side. And it's all on a cute little kind of filigree white cake stand. Now this one does have a little back stitching in it as well for all of these little pins, but they're really crossing over only like I think a couple stitches, so super easy. You can do more or less if you want, and then there's a little cross stitch that you just meet up for the tip of the pin, so it's really easy. Now on these ones, the little yarn balls in the middle, I do have some half stitches, and I talked about this before, and when you're doing a cross stitch, you do one stitch and then you finish it off with another stitch, and that makes your X or your cross. For the little balls, I wanted them to kind of have rounded edges on them, and so they have what's called a half stitch. So you're just going to do one of the stitches instead of finishing it off with the second. So hopefully that makes sense. It's just from corner to corner, and then you just don't finish it off. So that just kind of gives you a little sort of rounded edge on those tiny little yarn balls. So it's super easy to do, and hopefully the stitch in the pattern kind of makes sense as well, because it fills in just half of the little square instead of the whole square, so you know that that's a half stitch. So hopefully you can see those on these little balls right here, but there's like full stitches in the middle where you have like kind of that T section, and then each little corner there is a half stitch, and so one's going this way, one's going this way, and then the bottom two are like this. So hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, let me know, send me an email, and I can kind of try and explain it a little bit better, but hopefully that gives you a little bit of a visual as to what a half stitch is. Just like all the other ornaments, these are stitched on 14 count Aqua's Weigart. They're also finished on Fat Quarter Shop little tart tins, and then I also did the round sticky board, and Fat Quarter Shop actually tells you which sticky board goes with these tins, so make sure that when you order your tins, you're getting the one that goes with them, and it does come with a hanger, which is super handy, so I just left that on there, and that's what I'm using to hang it. I stitched all of them with DMC floss, so it should be pretty easy for you to get a hold of. So these, if you're stitching on the 14 count like I did, finish, the stitch portion is about 2 inches by 2 inches, and then the little Fat Quarter Shop ornaments are about 3 by 3. So altogether, they're about 3 by 3 when done. So for the Quilty version, I just did a cute little jar, and then I have 2 little bobbins stacked inside of the jar. Now, one thing that's a little bit tricky on this one is this center area right here can get kind of stretchy. So definitely recommend starching for that. Also, I recommend making sure that each of these seams is pretty accurate. Otherwise, you're going to have just a little bit, you know, too much extra up here on the top, which is kind of what happened to me. It's not actually a big deal. If that happens to you, you can actually just trim this a little bit so that your top is showing a little better. So as you can see, my top is just not quite lined up with these corners like it should be. So when I put my bow on here, it kind of gets covered up. So I would just recommend when you put this together, make sure that you can see the little top of your jar enough, and then that way you'll be able to see it a little bit better if you add that bow like I did. If you don't add the bow, it's not really that big of a deal. The other thing I probably would recommend doing is making sure that you've got the red down here if you're doing gingham and not the white, because I think that kind of blends into my white. So as you can see, I did make a few little boo-boos on this one, and I need to probably go back and adjust that top so that it fits a little bit better. But those would be my tips for this one, just because these little strips are kind of tiny It's actually pretty easy sewing because it's all just straight strips. It just can get really stretchy. So if you're doing starch or Mary Ellen's Best Press on this, that would be my tip for you. That's going to help keep those pieces so that they don't stretch too much and your little jar fits together a little bit better than mine did. These do finish at about 4 inches by 4 inches. Again, I finished this one the same way that I finished all of the others, and I used a variety of scraps. This one would be perfect for scraps because, as you can see, these little pieces are so small, and even the top of your jar is pretty tiny. So this would be another one that would be great for scraps. And that's it for today's video. If you're stitching along or sewing along, make sure to share with me on social media. You can also post those all in our Facebook group. I will make sure to link those below. And leave a comment below letting me know how you're doing on your progress. Are you keeping up? Are you having fun? And even a little description of how you're going to display them, I think would be a lot of fun. And it'd be great to get some new ideas on how to display these. Obviously, I'm putting them on my cute little pencil tree that I've got in my sewing room, but I'm sure you guys have a lot of fun ideas for them as well. So that's going to be it for today's video. Thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for next video where we'll be looking at day number 10. Hi, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Erica. We are on day number 9 of our 2023 So Jolly Quilty and Stitchy Sew Along. That's a lot to say, and I've said it about 10 times now, so I'm starting to have a little bit of tongue tie happening. So if you're new to my channel, for the past 3 years, we have done, or for the past 2 years plus this year, so 3 years total, whatever. And then each little corner there, and then these pie tart tins, I can't say them, oh my gosh.